Yep. And I don't know. That's the only interesting thing I see that it's even worth talking about. Like, it's been a slow day. Slow day for me. I only just woke up like a little over an hour ago because I went to sleep like super fucking late.
What's going on in John's world?
I'm trying to find human interest stories to talk about during the show. So far, all I'm coming across is that Spider-Man visits the Vatican.
How about this? Final Fantasy VII Remake almost had Cloud pole dancing at the Honeybee Inn.
That's less interesting and more, I guess, revolting.
This is a lovely picture of Cloud. Is there a scene where Cloud cross dresses in the
Yes.
remake?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm seeing a
The
picture of
whole
him with.
Honeybee Inn thing happened in the remake.
Yeah, I see a picture. I was like, that's he's lovely. He looks just beautiful.
It's based
His
off of a
little
Nordic
pigtails.
myth.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. There is a Nordic myth where Mjolnir was stolen by a giant and held for ransom, and the only way they were going to return it is if the giant got to marry Lady Sif. But they weren't going to send Lady Sif to fight or to marry the giant. So instead,
Mm-hmm.
Thor had to cross-dress as Lady Sif, and Loki was sent with him as one of his bridesmaids. And hiding under his dress was the Warriors 3 that ended up coming out of it during the middle of the ceremony, and they killed the giant. Which seems needlessly complicated, because if you were just going to kill the giant anyway, I don't know why you wouldn't just, like, rush down his keep, you know? Like, clearly you have the physical capability to kill this giant. Why was all the cross-dressing necessary?
I don't know. What? Okay. And so they based that one scene in Final Fantasy VII on that?
Well, yeah, but that's because all of Final Fantasy VII is based on Nordic mythology.
I see.
Yeah. Cloud is very clearly Thor. Tifa is very clearly Lady Sif. Oddly enough, in this case, Eris is Balder, because the death of Balder is what precludes the Ragnarok, which is the end of the gods. Sephiroth is Loki. What's his face? Barrett is Tyr, who's the man missing his arm. And there's a whole bunch of different connections. Even a lot of the names, like Midgard, you know, all of it's Norse mythology references, but seen through like the view of Japanese people with a hard-on for anime.
I never knew that. Which is weird because, I mean, if you think about it, Midgar is a little bit obvious.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them, like Nibelheim is really close to Niflheim. A bunch of the stuff. There's a Midgar serpent in there.
Is that a thing in Norse mythology?
Yeah, Jormungandr.
No. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I took Norse sagas in college. I didn't take Norse mythology.
There's a strong overlap between those.
I think I told you that, right?
Yeah, I think
my freshman year, I thought, oh, Norse sagas, that'd be cool. I'd learn about, Thor and Odin, Loki, and all that stuff. No, that had nothing to do with it. It was the most boring class. It was basically Norse history. That's
yeah. You probably learned about like
oral
Aaron the
history.
Red and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was like, well, this is boring as shit.
Did you know that this is what the Magic Kingdom Park at Disney World looks like?
No, I did not know that. But
Look at all these lakes.
I kind of assumed because Disney's built on a swamp.
Wait,
Last time I was there, I was 1.5 years old. No, World.
Are you looking at Disneyland or Disney World?
Oh, Disney World, of course.
Oh. Yeah, I knew there were
Looking
lots
at
of
this
lakes.
big area here, right? This is called Bay Lake on this side. this big area here is called the Seven Seas Lagoon.
Yeah.
It's about 1,500 feet across, maybe 2,000 feet across. It's pretty big, and it's next to a bunch of like natural wildlife area. This Seven Seas Lagoon, this area, this is where that kid got pulled in by that gator.
Oh, scary.
And I think it was around this upper left side up here. And the only thing that's there is that monorail that kind of goes over in the sky.
Yeah.
Over this area. It's all kind of natural, but yeah, apparently they just released like recently today. They were like, they have gotten rid of over 250 gators on the property.
Oh my God.
Ever since that incident where the dad unsuccessfully tried to go in and rescue the son.
Oh my God.
Because apparently while the son was being carried into the lagoon by a gator, the dad jumped into the lagoon and was attacked by a second gator.
Oh my God. I've stayed at the Grand Floridian.
Have you?
And I've stayed at what is the Polynesian? There it is. I've stayed at the Polynesian. That's beautiful. The Polynesian is fantastic. They shoot fireworks. I mean, you can see the fireworks from your hotel room if you're on the correct side. You have to choose the fireworks side. But every night there's fireworks.
Yeah, there's a hotel I want to stay at called the Grand Californian. It's like a big mountain lodge in Disneyland or Disney California Adventure. Except like the prices went up to like $800 a night now.
Well, if you go, my was the Polynesian. I loved it, and they have this wonderful breakfast with Mickey shaped waffles and all kinds of. It's amazing.
Some nice looking rooms.
Oh yeah.
Look at that pool area.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. It's like you're in Hawaii, basically. It feels like you're in Hawaii. It's
you can watch Moana on the TV.
Of course. Last time I went was before Moana came out.
Well.
But yeah.
Look at that lobby. My God.
I should say, welcome to the Vomitorium weekday show for the 23rd of June, 2021. As always, I am your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer, and regular John Dillard. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Metal. Thanks for having me.
My camera is not working. I think I need to reinstall software. So, at the moment, I'm an icon. But I'm always an icon, really.
I mean,
if you
think about it, nah.
So, here's something upsetting.
Yeah.
It makes me want to get back into it soon. Nintendo's shutting down Splatoon 2's online lounge feature.
What specifically is the online lounge? Is that like the Miiverse thing where people post their comments above their heads, or?
No.
Okay. What is
it's actually not that upsetting because I have no idea what it does. No, it's actually a. Okay, wait. It's fun. It's not in the game. It's outside the game using the mobile app, where you can use the mobile app to set up online Splatoon 2 matches.
Oh, okay.
You can still set up matches in the game, so the game's still unchanged. But you used to be able to set up online matches in the mobile app, in the Nintendo mobile app. But it is upsetting that they're shutting it down, which tells me they're getting ready to shut everything down because Splatoon 3 is coming out. So I guess if you want to enjoy Splatoon, no, I don't even actually. I don't really care. I saw it at first and I was like, oh, they're starting to shut down parts of the game, but no, they're just shutting down parts of the mobile app version, whatever. But anyway, I guess it's actually kind of exciting because it means they're going to start focusing on Splatoon 3.
I don't know if I can get excited for Splatoon 3.
No? Okay. I can. I'll get excited for both of us.
You can try. When I'm not excited for something, that's a pretty big deficit. I don't know if another person can even fill that. It's like a black hole of apathy.
Yeah. Well, here's something even more upsetting. Final, and I already read this, but I think we weren't online yet. Final Fantasy VII Remake almost had Cloud pole dancing.
Yeah, I don't.
How upsetting is that?
I guess not, because he didn't. I don't want to see Cloud pole dance.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, no, it's not upsetting that he didn't. It's upsetting that they considered it. That he almost did.
I don't know. I try not to pay attention to the Final Fantasy VII Remake because every time I see anything about it, it just makes me want to play it even less.
I know. I still don't understand why it's not a turn-based RPG like it's supposed to be.
I don't know. Because PlayStation was paying for it. That's why.
Yeah.
And PlayStation has absolutely no faith in RPGs. I haven't seen a new RPG like from anything Sony has personally invested in like a decade, which is strange because PlayStation used to be the house of RPGs back in like the PS1 and PS2 era.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have like slight RPG elements and things, but they're really, if you've ever seen like the modern PlayStation games, they all look the same. They're some type of open world action adventure game that barely has any combat to it or anything like that. And they're just generic, right? It's like, what was that Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever? Most of the like in-house games coming from PlayStation all just look like that game.
Yeah. Yep. They all look very samey.
And
it's so quiet now that John's air conditioning is muted. I didn't even realize how loud that was.
Oh yeah, like you couldn't even hear the music over it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake is kind of like the one real exception to that too, and even then it's not that much of an exception. The more of the exception is that it's not an open world game like the original was.
Yeah.
It's a series of hallways.
Even after you get out of Midgar?
You haven't yet. I don't know if the sequel has continued that far, but the first, I guess, disc or part or whatever was pretty much all of just Midgard. Like that beginning area.
Oh, well, I mean, but that's how the original game was.
Yeah, I mean, Midgard was like a good, 6 hours of the game before you even left it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't get open world until after that.
Yeah, but you can also walk around Midgard to some extent. Like, there are branching paths of like, here's where the park is. Here's where the train station.
Yeah.
It's kind of even less than that in the remake.
Well, yeah, but you still had to do the same things in the same order.
For the most part, yes. But they're like,
I'll tell you what.
We don't want you getting lost this time. We're just going to direct you right on the path.
Well, I never got lost at that point. I got lost once you leave the, what do you call it? The cylinder of Midgar, and you get into the open world now. Like, where the fuck do I go now? I always get lost at that point.
I know people who were lost back in Midgar. Like,
no, really?
Yeah, the tiny ass Midgar. They got lost in it.
Oh my gosh. No, I never got lost there. But I always ended up quitting the game. By the time I got to
the Gold Saucer.
Like, what is it called? The Gold Saucer, yeah. Which I guess we've discussed that before, that a lot of players quit at that point because...
Well, I saw some stuff about the Final Fantasy remake when I was scrolling through. I wasn't going to bring it up because, honestly, I think we've talked that game to death at this point.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I have any more commentary on the game than what I've already said is the problem, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, well, you know, the sequels are going to be even more different. It's like, and that's a good thing?
The sequels, like the additional...
Parts of the remake, yeah.
Parts, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I'd rather it just be more similar to the original game.
Yeah, really. Well, talk about something else then. I found out that I can take the 16th of July off to play Skyward Sword.
Oh, priorities.
Yeah, I was worried because I'm done with my contract, and so I got hired full time, and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to save up, PTO time, but apparently I don't. I can take it right away. So I'm like, all right, taking the day off for Skyward Sword. Comes out July 16th.
Nice.
I don't have anything else to say about that.
I don't know. I almost canceled the show for today.
Oh. Well.
And it was before I even found out there was not really much to talk about. Because I went to sleep so late and I got up so late. I'm like, do I even want to run it today? But then I was remembering, it's like, oh yeah, we're not having any shows from Friday through Sunday. I should probably run it today.
Oh, is tomorrow our last one until next week?
Yes. Tomorrow is our last show until next week. Until Monday.
Okay. Well, then I guess it was a good idea to...
Was it, though?
Do it
Was it a
tonight.
good idea?
I don't know. What else is going on? Are you taking a vacation to Disney World, John?
No, absolutely not.
That sounds horrible.
I just came back from a mini vacation at Disneyland Resort.
Oh.
That place was a nightmare.
How was that?
It was a nightmare. It was terrible. You can't do nothing there. Just pay a bunch of money to sit around and look at things and not get to interact or do anything.
Well, is it worse than it used to be? Because I haven't been to Disney World in like 10 years.
No, I don't know. I've never been to Disney World in my life. I've only ever been to Disneyland.
Well, the last time I went to Disney World, it was an absolute joy. There were huge crowds. There was a little bit of waiting, but overall, it was awesome.
Yeah, I don't mind crowds. I like crowds of people.
I don't know. That sounds awful.
Well, but I mean, there's so much other. I mean, it wasn't just sitting. Here's the thing. It's not like Six Flags, right? Six Flags, you go and you wait in line for rides. And you do the ride, and then you wait in line for a ride, and that's it. That's your whole day. Disney World, at least. I've never been to Disneyland. Disney World, you're at a resort. I mean, if you stay on campus or whatever you call it, like at the Polynesian, you're at a resort. You can go to the pool. There's, fireworks at night. You have a leisurely breakfast.
It's just going to rain at 2 o'clock every single day.
Maybe. If you're conscientious about it, like one year I went with my kids and we got this early admission thing into Epcot, which was unbelievable because it was like we got to go to Epcot before they opened. So there was no waiting in line. We went and had a breakfast with the princesses. Oh my God. If you have kids, it's like they died and went to heaven. It was just like unbelievable. Anyway, sorry to gush.
No, just imagine doing anything like that in the time of COVID.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about.
You have to wear a mask no matter what the temperature.
Oh, son of a... Yeah.
You can't get close to any of the characters. Like, one of the main things for kids at Disneyland, especially at Disneyland here, they like to hug and they like to carry around a little autograph book.
Yeah.
Where you can get autographs from the characters.
Yeah.
And they go and take pictures with Minnie and Mickey and Rapunzel and whoever. None of that. Everybody's 20 feet away and behind a guardrail.
Mm.
And if you're standing there and the characters are waving to you and you're standing there with your kid and you pull down your mask to take a drink of water, they tell you to go away.
Okay, that sucks. Well, shit.
Because they set up hundreds of little areas called eating areas, and those are the areas that you can pull down your mask if you're actively eating or drinking.
Oh, Jesus. Right,
then everything is not and everything is closed down. I'm not talking about the rides. I don't care about the rides. I don't go on rides, even when I go to
the restaurants are closed down. The gift shops are closed.
Restaurants are closed. You have to put it on your app that you want to order what food from the restaurant. Then they'll give you a boop 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 when it's ready, and then you go and wait in the line to go and pick up your food when it's ready.
That's awful.
From the window, and then you go to a designated eating area to go eat your food.
Oh, Jesus, it's like a gulag.
It is. It's a nightmare, and it's more expensive than ever.
Ugh. Okay. Well, never mind then. 8 years ago, or whenever I went last, it was amazing.
No, normally when you go to Disneyland, horrible. I like Disneyland because I hear stories. Because I used to be a big fan of going to the Disney stuffs. I was even for multiple years. I was a pass holder, the platinum pass holder, so I didn't have to park or nothing, And it was very nice because it's 100% focused on atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Having a good time, being comfortable. There's lots of shade. It's not like Six Flags where it's just acres of concrete.
Yeah.
And places to stand in line for a super,
and maybe you'll find
thrill ride.
A place where there's misters or something because of the summer heat. But they're very
rare. And I know that the Batman ride, they put, as soon as you get into like Gotham City waiting queue area, they'll have misters coming from the steam pipes and stuff. But if not, if it's a long line, no, you're just waiting. But Disneyland has always been like it's atmosphere everywhere you go, which is nice. I like that a lot. And Disneyland, much more so than Disney World, because it's so much smaller. They pack so much more into every nook and cranny.
So
go ahead.
My comparison was never going to be towards Six Flags because I know they're very different places. But I was even going to say, if everything was running as normal, I would be far more likely to go to Disneyland than Disney World. Mm-hmm. And part of it is because of the size. It's a lot easier to see everything and it's more focused and stuff. But the other part is the weather, right? Because the weather in Anaheim, as hot as it can get there, is much better than the weather in Orlando.
Like Anaheim's about 15 miles from the coast.
Yeah.
So it's not as hot as where I live, like considered the Inland Empire, where it's desert and arid. It's nice. It's not too bad, even though it does get into the hundreds occasionally in the summertime. Most of the year, Anaheim is very nice.
Yeah. Most of the year, Orlando is horrible. I have friends who live there. It's a swamp. I mean, they give you lots of accommodations and stuff. Like you said, there's pools and everything, but you're still in a swamp. And it's not that bad. You could put up with it, but I'd rather be in the area where I don't have to put up with it, which Disneyland, scores better in that, regard.
And plus, Disneyland is so much older than Disney World. And because it was the first theme park, they really do a good job in jamming a lot of history and not messing with core stuff and just building around and making bigger and better, but while keeping all of the original things. So you can go and visit the little firehouse that Walt Disney's personal apartment was on top of, and you can go and if you and they have a lot of little tricks and stuff. Like if you go and you ask the third conductor on the third part of the train if you can go and visit Mrs. Disney's caboose suite, they'll let you in. If you have a kid, you can go in there and you can see the actual private car that's always empty, and ride in that, or little things like that. Or the Tom Sawyer, I think even in Anaheim is when they started the paintbrush thing, where if you find a paintbrush on Tom Sawyer Island, you get a fast pass to any ride in the park, and the kids are around there looking like a scavenger hunt trying to find a paintbrush, on the island. It's cool. There's a lot of cool little things in Disneyland that they don't have in a lot of because it's so small, and they try to make it as cool as possible,
Yeah. Well, I'm biased because I've never been to Disneyland, but I absolutely love Disney World. It's just, it's so much bigger. So you do have to pick and choose what you're going to do. You can't do everything. You just can't. So you just have to pick. Okay, pick one park
unless
for
you're
each
spending
day.
like a week there or something, then you can do everything.
Yeah.
Oh, even then, like
But,
when I got my season pass for the first time, we did it like, leisurely. We would
Mhm.
go spend 4 hours in the park, go out to eat somewhere in Anaheim, maybe even drive over to Medieval Times and have dinner at Medieval Times or something, and then come back to the hotel. And we spent a week doing it when we first got our tickets, just a week straight, and we still didn't do everything in the park.
Yeah.
It's just when you have the ability to take your time and just do what you feel like doing, it feels so much better. It's not like when you have the kids that are in their early teens and you're doing that marathon race where they want to get on every single thing because you only got one day to do it, and your feet hurt when you're done and you're like, oh, you want to kill yourself on the drive home because you're so tired. It's not like that. When you do it at a leisurely pace, it's so much better.
Yeah.
I've never had that attitude, even when I was a teenager. I was always super casual at like any type of theme park, like even going Six Flags, talking about just miles of concrete. A lot of fun rides, but at no point had we ever had the desire, like me and my friends, to hit up everything in one time. We're like, whatever, we'll just chill. Half the time we don't even ride rides. We had season passes, so we just go there and like loiter, get some food or whatever.
Oh, well, I had never had a season pass to anywhere until I was an adult. Like when if I had the opportunity, it was usually like a once a year thing, and it was a big deal because my parents forked over the money for me to go with my friends on their birthday to Six Flags, and I wanted to do every single thing. Though you couldn't because 2 hours per line,
Yeah. Well, I also live like a 20-minute drive from the original Six Flags over Texas, so it was very rational for us to have season passes. As soon as one of us could drive, we could be there all the time.
Yeah.
Which is also why I'm burnt out on that place. I never want to go back again.
I don't know. Theme parks, they offer like a real special, little memory hole.
Yeah.
But right now, I just don't see myself ever going back to Disneyland. It was that bad, the experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, when I went with my kids, they were allowed to hug all the princesses and get all the autographs they wanted. It was awesome. So that's really sad. Oh, well.
I'm tempted to go to Six
Hopefully
Flags, actually. Because I haven't been there in like 5 years. And right now, from what I heard, it is basically operating as it did pre-COVID because Texas is fully open up.
What's the one near you called?
Me?
No, in Texas.
Well, I've got Six Flags over Texas, and I also have Six Flags Hurricane Harbor. There's also, I can go down to Six Flags. What's the one in San Antonio? There's a bunch in Texas.
Yeah. I've only ever been to Six Flags Over Georgia in Atlanta and Great America in Chicago. So. But yeah, that's it. That's more for like teenagers.
Yeah.
And young adults and stuff who don't mind being hot and waiting in lines.
Oh yeah, like again, I went there 5 years ago, which I was a young adult then, but even then I was at the point it's like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah.
I'm just I'm gonna go on the Yosemite Sam and I'm just gonna lay or sit there in that raft as it passes through this cool dark cave with animatronics with water, because it's much better in here than it is out there, and nobody else is riding this ride.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's probably more fun if you're with friends so that you can joke around and goof off, or with a girlfriend or something so you can just make out in the lines. I don't know. Make your own fun, basically, because it's not particularly fun all by itself.
Yeah. What you want to do is you want to go with people you haven't been with before. That's the thing, because Dillard talks up as like a memory hole. It's about making memories. And the thing is, if you go to the same place with the same people over and over again, even if, they're like your favorite group of people, like, we've already done all of this stuff together. We've already made these memories.
Yeah. Yep. But if it does get back to normal and people can afford it and stuff, I recommend people take, if you have kids, taking them to Disney something, World or Land, at least once. Or a Disney cruise, because I've done that, and that's awesome too. Disney cruise. At least pre-COVID, they were.
That's what I hear. My wife's, I guess, what is he? OBGYN? This guy just does not stop talking about Disney cruises every time we go.
They're awesome. And I'll tell you...
I'd much rather go one of those than go to one of the theme parks, to be honest.
Yeah. It is. It's like going to a theme park, only not nearly as crowded. I mean, they've got the characters, they've got the meals, they've got like a water slide, right? There on the cruise. It's amazing.
And just chill in a chair, sipping drinks while everybody else is busy being stupid.
Yeah, if you want. And if you have kids, there's like, there's basically like babysitting, right? They'll take the kids and they'll do activities and stuff, and then the parents can go do their own thing. But I'll tell you, before I had kids, we used to like to go on princess cruises, which typically had a bunch of old people, right? But that was like great because nobody would bother you. You could kind of do your own thing. They had excursions. We did a princess cruise in the Caribbean and one to Alaska, and they were both great.
I've always wanted to do a cruise to Alaska. How is that?
Oh, it's fantastic. In fact, I like that more than the Caribbean one. We did that in June and went to Juneau, Ketchikan, Victoria, Canada. You have to bring your passport. Actually, we stayed in Seattle the week before, which was fantastic. Seattle's great to visit. I wouldn't recommend living there, but it's fun to visit. And yeah, you go up. We walked on a glacier. It's the only time I've ever taken a helicopter ride in my life. We actually took a helicopter up to a glacier. You get to see beautiful blue icebergs that are just amazing. Hopefully they don't hit the ship.
Oh, the ship will
saw whales.
Though.
Yeah, that's fine. No, small icebergs, but they're blue. It's bizarre. It's amazing. Like they're just this beautiful azure color. Yeah, I saw whales. Saw a lumberjack show I think in Ketchikan. That was awesome. And it's cold. It gets cold in June, so you have to bring some warm clothes. But some days it'll be warm and some days it'll be cold. But it's fun. It's fun. In fact, I think the Princess Cruise to Alaska was the first time I ever saw Galaxy Quest. Weird memory, because they had it on they had it on in the room for some reason.
Movie.
Yeah. But that was awesome. Yeah. They, it was funny because like on one stop when we went to see a glacier, they gave us this whole the global warming bullshit spiel. And I was like, you do realize that, glaciers on the other side of the world are growing while this one's shrinking, don't you? And then on another ride, we had this based bus driver who was just going off on Bill Clinton, who was the president at the time. Anyway, no, I guess Bush was, but it was right after Clinton. And he's like, I used to be in the logging industry, and President Clinton destroyed the logging industry, and I lost my job, and he was just going off. It was hilarious. He's like, that was the worst president we've ever had.
Oh, man.
Of course, then he...
Let's see what his opinion of the current one is.
Yeah, right. He was so funny. I mean, obviously, he turned out okay, but I imagine he was he made more money as a lumberjack than he did as a tour guide. I would imagine. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been complaining so much.
I don't know. Maybe he was making more money, but he just really liked his old career. Like, what if that was his path?
Yeah.
You know, like he felt that was
It's
his
like
thing.
every night now I gotta go home to my horrible wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas before I could just camp in the wilderness like a real man.
For months on end. And then
Maybe.
she'd be so glad to see me, and I'd be glad to see her because we haven't seen each other in months. But now we're just tired and sick of each other.
Yeah, I'm sure that was his whole backstory. I don't know.
I can see her aging every day.
No. Yeah, Flit says, let's hear one controversial take from each member on the panel. What, are you trying to get us banned from some place?
My controversial take is I think we should bring back imperialism, and we should start by buying Mexico.
Or conquering Mexico.
Oh, they're so poor we
about
can
that?
buy them. It'd be easier.
Yeah.
I
John?
don't know. I think as soon as the dollar kind of gets revealed about how much it's actually worth, that we're gonna be worth less than peso.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, the thing is, even the peso's worth is based off of the dollar's worth. Once people find out what the dollar's actually worth, a lot of other currencies are sinking too. Because they're all forced to bid on the petrodollar.
Yeah. Wait, are we not allowed to talk about John McAfee?
I'm talking about John McAfee. I don't give a fuck.
I haven't seen any bannings on that discussion. By the way, John McAfee didn't kill himself. You know, I know he didn't kill himself because he said he didn't kill himself.
Oh, did you see his tattoo where it's like a dollar sign and then the word whacked right next to
Whacked, yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. He said on multiple occasions, like at least once a year for the past 3 years, he has said, I will not kill myself if I end up dead. It was not me that did it. He said that.
I've got
He
dead man
tweeted that
switches
3 times.
and twice a day check-ins. You kill me, everything's being dumped.
Well, where is it though? I want to know.
All that happened is like the day he died, one of his associates on his Twitter posted a picture of the letter Q. That's it. That's all we've gotten so far.
Yeah, come on. Come on, people.
think
If
it's
you're going to
all
have a dead
elaborate
man
troll.
switch, have a dead man switch. Just do it. I mean, is Julian Assange still alive? He's still alive.
I think
isn't
so. Yeah, I haven't heard of him dying, so I'm
he?
assuming
He's
so.
always said that. He's always said that too, hasn't he? Like if he dies, all this shit's gonna come out. And I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, he's up shit creek
Really?
at the moment.
yeah. Man, I know it just happened today, right? So
Yes,
maybe it'll
that's
take
why
a
nothing's come
take a
out.
day or
It's
two.
just that big picture of
Yeah.
the Q.
Well, I hope something comes out. That would be fantastic. I don't know what it would be, but as long as it's juicy.
Well, I mean, clearly he's got information on everyone because McAfee's always been such a horrible program anyway. It's probably just sitting there collecting people's data.
Yeah, maybe that's why my webcam isn't working, because McAfee's hacked it. Who knows?
Fuck McAfee.
Don't know.
Fuck Norton, too. Both of them are shit.
Oh, I always hated those stupid virus scanners. I'm like, they use up so much resources and they're shit.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
Oh, somebody tried to scam me recently. That was pretty fun. Hopefully I got them banned. I played along with the scam long enough just to actually get the screenshots. But there's like this old... people should be aware of this too. There's this very old Steam-related scam going around. Where somebody will try to find
Oh, I
you.
got that.
Yeah, it's been going around since like 2018, right? They'll find you usually through like a mutual server or something, and they'll go and they'll look up your username to see if it matches up with a Steam name, if the profile picture's the same too. They're like, hey, is this you? I accidentally did a Steam admin report on you. And the type of report they're talking about doesn't exist. There's no such thing as like a Steam admin report. And then they'll try to contact you with the admin they reported you to, who isn't actually an admin, and they'll tell you on Discord or something to add them. But an actual Steam admin will never try to contact you through a third-party software. So, you know, I just played along with it long enough so I got all the actual standard information out so I could take the screenshots and send it, and hopefully they got banned. But, you know, they probably have like 100 accounts, so it's like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, they were... I got that from someone on an Intel, like an official Intel Discord server that I'm on.
Yeah.
And I called up, you know, what's his name, Chris Perillo. I contacted Chris Perillo and was like, dude, this account is sending me scams. And he banned him from the Discord. But yeah, I got that same thing a few months ago.
Yeah.
It was confusing though, because like, yeah, they're like, oh, you know, you get in contact with this person. And so I try to look them up on Steam, and I'm like, I don't see them on. And he's like, no, it's a Discord account. And I'm like, what? Why would Steam contact me through Discord? And I was like, okay, this is bullshit. Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't even realize it was a scam until it was like, oh yeah, contact this Steam admin through Discord. I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense.
Oh, I realized it was a scam right away when they told me the type of report. I'm like, that's not a type of report on Steam.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah. And they you know, it's social conditioning. They're trying to get you. They act like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do this, and they're trying to like plead to your like sympathy.
Yeah, yeah. And then they ultimately try and get your account information, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, well, once you connect with the guy, he'll ask you for your credentials so you can go in and wipe it, and then, which I didn't go that far. I just know how this works from reading about it when it was new. And once they get in, they'll just start taking like your credit card information and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, even though I didn't realize it right away, it was like as soon as it got to the point of quote unquote contacting the Steam admin guy, a light went off in my head, and I was like, oh, okay, this is bullshit.
Yeah. There's also another way, like, in case you are stupid, another thing you can do to protect your money, at least with Steam, because if you have PayPal as your main form of payment on Steam, then they can't actually get any credit card information from you. The most they could do is actually just start buying things using your Steam account, maybe gifting it to other people. But the second you don't have access to your Steam account anymore, you can just go into PayPal and disconnect it and stop it before it gets bad.
Yeah. Now, I
put
don't...
as many barriers in between you and scamming as possible.
Yeah. Now, they can't actually get your credit card information to buy anything off of Steam, though, even if you
Oh, no, they have ways of actually getting it once they have your account credentials.
Really? Because it only ever shows, like, the last 4 digits.
Yeah, no, apparently there are things inside, like, the system cache and stuff. Like, they can get it. That was part of the problem. Yeah.
Let's get the band hammer going.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Well, what else is a controversial opinion?
I don't know. There's a big thing going all around Twitter right now where the president of your United States is talking about your gun control, and let's be realistic. If you want to fight our government, you don't have F-15s or nukes, and you can't fight us.
Psh, that's the dumbest take that any president's ever said.
Yeah.
You don't. First off, you shouldn't be afraid of your government nuking you.
Then he told Metal, he was like, Metal, you look like a dork.
Well, you know, he's one of
Yeah, that seems to be implying that the government is going to use F-15s and nukes against their own people.
Yeah, like they definitely won't use nukes because any amount of land that you decide to nuke is going to be unusable. Which is the dumbest thing you could do to your own land. That would be like a last-ditch effort, right? Scorched earth policy. And also, I'd like people to reevaluate what happened in many of these like Viet Cong related and other like small scale warfare circumstances where, yeah, I mean, ultimately we were winning, but a population even less trained with worse equipment that knows their area
I
better
can't
than
think
you
of a
can
population
do
less trained than the United States populace.
But as long as they know the area better than you and they have decent equipment, they can do a number on any infiltrating military before they get taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just, coming from people who either A, completely misunderstand how warfare works, or B, are calling a really big bluff, that they're putting out. They're putting out just a huge bluff.
Yeah, basically what he was saying was, come on, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing.
Timothy Olsen says to me, he's like, I think if we all got highly motivated, we could change that. But isn't that the big elephant in the room?
Like, actually getting people motivated?
A highly motivated American populace? Get out of my face, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It does not exist.
I would say less than Vietnamese though.
I mean, well, much less motivated than Vietnamese populace.
Yeah.
Because one thing, like if I took away anything, like a lesson, I guess, from the the riots last year, is that nobody has enough gumption to get up and do anything about anything.
Oh yeah, because it would have been done by now.
Kyle Ritter does. He's a hero.
How is Kyle Ritter a hero? And how does sending photographs of your penis help the cause?
No, it just does. If you don't understand that, I'm not going to explain it to you.
But I agree. Americans do deserve access to F-15s and recreational nukes.
Yeah, and tanks. That's right.
And warships with cannons.
And urban assault vehicles. Definitely.
No, I feel like, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't see any reason.
If you can afford it.
If you can afford it, what you spend
Yeah.
your money on, I don't really care. I'll hold you accountable if you're my neighbor.
Yeah, but that's what should be happening. People should hold their neighbors accountable. We'd have a much better society if neighbors were holding each other accountable and not like wanting the government to do it.
Nobody gets angry enough to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like we have a problem here next to our house where we have people driving and doing donuts and stuff in the cul-de-sac. And the main reason I don't want to call the police, because even though I went back there and shooed them away probably almost 24 times already, they keep coming back and it's new and different cars,
Yeah.
Because it's an area. It's about the width of like a 6-lane highway, and it's roughly 1/4 mile.
Yeah, so it's perfect for like drag racing and stuff.
And one side of the street is all the back of houses, so there's no entrance, but the other side of the street only has one entrance to a neighborhood. So it's like, as long as you got that area, locked down, there's not going to be any kind of like accidents happening unless people lose control of their vehicles, whatever. And the thing is, I even though I went over there and shoot them away a few times, the reason I don't want to call any kind of like city or cop is because realistically, what they're going to do is they're going to come and put speed bumps.
Yeah.
And I don't want speed bumps on that street. I use that street, But it's to the point now where I'm like, I don't know what to do, because it's not stopping, even though I'm trying to mitigate the situation by shooing them away. Nobody else is, especially the people that live right next to it. What can one person do against recklessness? There was
you
an
could,
instance where I used to
you could
live.
punish them for their recklessness, and you could
Right.
sneak
And
an
that's what I
oil slick
did.
in there.
3 houses ago, where I used to live 3 houses ago, there was an instance where people were doing stupid things, and I took action in my own hands to punish the people that were doing bad things, and it stopped. But I don't want to risk my freedom because nobody else wants to do anything, and I'm the only person that's saying stop.
Mm-hmm.
Got tiresome.
Well, say it with your assault rifle.
I think that's what
I'm not saying what I did or didn't do, Marzuki. I even did a small thing. I could probably say this. Like, they opened up this dispensary next to where I used to live. And I don't have a problem with having a dispensary in the neighborhood, a marijuana dispensary.
Yeah.
The problem that I have is people like to not come and buy their marijuana and leave. They like to linger. They like to hang out in their cars with their doors open, playing music, smoking their freshly bought marijuana, and hanging out in the streets and turning the whole place into essentially a ghetto, right?
Yeah.
And then the dispensary, combated they don't want to tell the people to leave once they buy their stuff. So what they did, because people were parked on both sides of the street, they started putting their sign for the parking sign out into the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to, when you turn the corner to go into your neighborhood, you have to stop, drive around their sign to go and continue on your way. And like, when that started happening, I was like, fuck, enough is enough. So after 3 days, I was driving by. Every time I would drive by, I would just plow straight through their sign and wreck it. And there'd be, first time it was a repaired sign, wreck that one. The next time it was a brand new sign, wrecked that one. Then they finally got it, and they parked one of their personal vehicles and put the sign on top of the vehicle, which made it even worse now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on? It's like, it's just garbage place now. And they put big, they'll have people come and if you have a nice gray building, you go in there, inconspicuous, you buy your product, you leave. No, they want to throw up a mural on the side of their building of a big marijuana sign, 2 big round eyes that are all red and bloodshot. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here with your garbage. It's a class-free dumpster, people.
I have to say that the dispensaries in Arizona looked very classy.
Well, good for you in Arizona, asshole. I'm talking about here.
Yeah, 2 different cultures, man.
Yeah, they had big billboards and everything, but I mean, if you didn't know, it just looked like, I don't know, it looked like a doctor's clinic, like a doctor's office.
Except you have to understand, these businesses are very different in different places too. The dispensary business in California is doing so bad that it recently got bailed out by the federal government, right? And this is a business that you're like, in what way could it not be profitable? But it's California.
Wait, it didn't get bailed out by the federal government.
Or was
it's
it the state
federally
government?
Illegal.
Oh, yeah, it might have been the state government. It got bailed out by some government.
Why? Let them go out of business.
It's not doing well.
Okay, then let them go out of business.
They should.
Why does government bail things out? It's a private business. Let it go out of business. They didn't bail out my company when it went out of business. Jesus fuck. Where's my money? Where's my money, government?
I don't know.
I guess I should have started a dispensary. Of course,
probably.
In Tennessee, it was illegal.
Oh, yeah, no, you definitely couldn't do that in Tennessee.
God damn.
It's a problem over here. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's also like really, really bad for almost, like, as you were saying too, but almost any neighborhood that get built nearby.
Hmm. Not in Arizona. I'm telling you, they were in nice neighborhoods, and it was just like, like I said, it looked like a doctor's clinic. It was a nice.
Well, the thing is, nice neighborhoods, have a way of regulating themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
People in nice neighborhoods tend to care about their neighborhood.
Yeah, the people are very friendly, very helpful, give you all kinds of information. You go in and they'll give you an education.
That's just what I need.
That's what you need to do. You need to go to the Arizona, or you didn't actually go in. You don't have a. You just live near it. Well, when I move back to Arizona, you'll have to come for a visit, and I'll take you to the dispensary. Get you hooked up.
Set it on fire is what I'll do.
Right.
Yeah, I have no desire to ever go inside a dispensary.
I'm telling you, the ones I've been to have been very nice.
Yeah, I also have no desire to ever smoke weed.
Oh.
My brother doesn't. Like, I have nothing against people who do. It's just I have no desire to do it.
Yeah.
I also hate the smell. Like, ugh.
Yeah. It can smell bad. Usually it's the cheap stuff that smells bad. If you get good stuff. Dillard, Flit says Dillard doesn't put that junk in his body. He's a sports car whose engine burns clean.
That's right.
Or a finely tuned instrument. Destruction.
Maybe one day we'll become a killdozer.
That's right. Or an urban assault vehicle. What was this Prime Day thing? Was that yesterday?
Yeah, Prime Day's over. Every year, Amazon Prime, which is actually becoming more of like a week. It's kind of like Black Friday, right? It started as one day, and then it just keeps getting bigger. But Amazon does like this super discount thing where a bunch of stuff drops, and it's free shipping, and it's honestly really bad, and everybody buys in for it, and I just ignore it. Because most of the stuff that drops, I mean, sometimes they're actually very valuable things that drop. Just like on Black Friday. But the vast majority of things that are running on sale and you get the free shipping stuff are things that are honestly worth that much anyway. Like stuff from last year.
And they're not really selling, so.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a 2019 Apple MacBook Pro. Why would I want a 2019?
Not everybody's a millionaire like you going to, resorts and Disney cruises.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise. They're expensive.
I haven't been in like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. So.
Yeah, I went to Disney like once when I was 1.5 years old, and I have not been there since.
Well, save up and go do it.
I have no desire to. I mean, you know what I'd rather save up for? Something that honestly is about as expensive. I would rather just save up for a trip to Japan.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Like I'd rather just go hang out in Japan for a week. I think that would be more fun.
What a pervert.
Or somewhere else.
I bet.
What were you saying?
I bet there's a Disney cruise that goes to Japan.
No, when I hear somebody, I always equate because every time I think of Japan, I just think perverted people.
Oh.
And when I hear somebody say I want to go to Japan, it's like somebody saying I want to go to Cambodia.
Yeah, there's a lot of places I'd rather go to. It's just a trip to Japan is actually not that expensive. Like at this point, it's actually more expensive to go to Europe than it is to Japan. Right, and there's a lot of places in Europe I want to see. But honestly, I can't go anywhere right now. Nobody's letting anybody in.
Oh, shoot. Flip brought up something, but we don't have time to talk about it. He says, how excited am I, personally, sexually, for the new furry dating show on Netflix?
What?
I saw that thing.
Dating show?
Oh, my God. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow. I saw that thing. I was like, burn it with fucking fire. It looks like a fucking nightmare. Oh, my God. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You were telling me you didn't have anything to talk about.
I know.
You saw this? You
holding
knew
out
about
on
it?
this?
I forgot about it. Oh my God!
Write it
totally
down so you don't
forgot,
forget about it again.
I will. Yeah, thank you, Flip.
Now I have something to
Furry
talk about on my
dating.
live stream in a couple hours.
Yeah. Furry dating show. It's real, and it's they did it already apparently on the BBC a couple of years ago. Apparently, it's a copy of it. I'm like, oh my god.
Why are we
horrible.
always making like copies of British shows? Often ours are better, but like why? Why can't we just come up with original things?
I don't know, but we will talk about it tomorrow on the Vomitorium.
When I hear Cambodia, I think of Futurama and Richard Nixon was like, "Don't make me go Cambodia on your asses."
I think of the Men in Black where the guy's like, you can get a lobster dinner for $5 in Cambodia.
Oh yeah.
I think about One Night in Bangkok in the World of Zero Oyster.
It's David Cross.
Chest.
Yeah. But anyway, that's our show. Thanks for watching and thanks for coming on. If you enjoy the show, please share it with somebody else who might like it. And if you really like the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitoriumlive, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye. Furry dating show.
Bye.